Welcome back to the Kaleidoscope house. Today I will show you the finished product. I'm starting up at the loft space, so I have to hold the camera by hand, and I know it's a bit shaky, but please bear with me. I cut this piece of material here and laid it down as a carpet. In an earlier video I had made these little foams covered with this metallic looking material, but I realized afterwards that it was really rounded and they just don't sit right, so I've redone those. This is the color I chose for it now. So the idea of the loft space, they had little mattresses that the kids could lay on and read a book or whatever. So I've made these and I've made a few pillows. I will show you how I would put it up to be a couch, and that's probably how I would leave it in this house. This is how I envision it being used. The kids sneak upstairs with their tablets and some snacks maybe Mom doesn't know about, and when they have friends over it would be a cool space to hang out and play some games. So that's the loft space done. And the little hat on top of the one skeleton is hats that come with him, and I don't want their hats on indoors, so I'm putting it on the skeletons to keep them so they're not lost at any point. Here's a little bird's eye view of her bedroom, and I'm quite happy with how everything turned out. And later I will show you looking straight on. We're going to turn this again, come back to our loft, and now we're going to be at the little boy's room. So once again, here is his shelf. He's got his toys up there, his models, a couple books that he can reach when he's up at the loft. And then we're looking down, and you can see that I'm very happy with how this turned out. Now you can look down from the top and see the living room. Well, it's empty. You see the floor that I put in for the kitchen, and you see the carpet that I've cut for where the couches are going to be, and you can see that the fireplace has been all decorated. Here's the little girl's room. I didn't have her when I showed you the family. Her name is Grace, and she's busy cutting out some paper dolls to go in her dollhouse. Mom doesn't know she has scissors upstairs, so she better hurry up and finish her job. I wanted to show you these little high-heeled chairs. I think they're absolutely adorable, and they really do fit in with the theme of this house. I just absolutely love them, so I'm so thankful my friend included those in when I purchased this house. I wanted to have a piggy bank in a room, so I just got a little plastic pig from the dollar store, colored it with nail polish. I sliced with my X-Acto knife, I sliced a little hole, and then I colored it black. And then on the underside I have the plug that of course we all would pull out and then shake them to get the money out. And I'll show you a close-up of her little turtle. I try to put life in my scenes with things being a little messy, somebody doing something. I think it just really adds to the dollhouse. This is the Kaleidoscope bathroom. A very small room to decorate. It's got doors opening on either side out to the kids' bedrooms. I found that the bathtub stuck out way too far, so I replaced it with a shower. A 1/12 shower was way too big, so I put a Lundby shower in. I recovered the back paper with paper to match the flooring that I had made. I did not have a shower head, so I took an earbud and hung that up and left the cord down as part of the hose. I had to make a little shelf on the back of the toilet, so I took an old pill container and took the lids off. I put the paper, tiled paper in the back, and filled it with little products. This was a difficult room to do, but a lot of fun. I realize you can't see a lot of detail from this shot, but I'm trying to block reflections from the mirror, so I'll take pieces out and show you all the work that I did on them. So I've taped over the mirror so I can film the rest of this in the bathroom. You can see the little cat picture my kids made. I'll zoom in on these little products that I've got placed in the shelf. There's some nail polish on the back. I made a plunger. I've got Lysol to keep the bathroom clean. I've got a little flower motif over top of that door, another one over here. And I just realized I should switch those two because I should have blue for the boys' room, pink for the girls. I'll do that later. I've got my little signs for the kids down the side and the toilet paper. So on the shower, I repainted the floor on the Lundby. I added a plug for a drain. You can see the earbud that I used as a shower head. I've got shampoo and soap and a back scratcher. And there was nowhere else to put a towel rack, so I just made a simple one and have it hanging off the side of the shower. I had made a curtain for it, but it pushes it too far away from the wall, so we'll just pretend that there's one with that. And as for the sink, I simply marked the taps hot and cold and added my soap, a face cloth, some toothbrushes, a cup, and some toothpaste. So that's it for the bathroom. Now we'll go down to Mom's and Dad's room. This is a picture of the finished master bedroom. This is the dad doll of Mr. and Mrs. Blue Green. He's working from home now. You can see him working on his laptop. I'd like to point out the fan that I'd spoke of earlier. My friend installed that and it works really good because Mom and Dad's room is quite hot. They appreciate it. I will pull out the end table so we can see him closer, and I'll be right back. This is the Mom's end table. It is once again a napkin ring, but it has been wrapped with strands of different colored pink beads. And I've just put a mirrored top on it as well. And Mom's got her book beside the bed for later on tonight. Now this end table was all made out of jewelry findings. I take apart a lot of old jewelry, and this happened to be one of the necklaces, and I'm pretty sure this is carved out of bone. And then the tabletop was an earring that's got mother of pearl all over the top, and it's quite reflective, and I think it really matches this scene. So all I had done was taken, and it fits almost perfectly. I put a bit of glue on it, and then to make the lamp, I just took a pack of these earrings where you've got the bigger bottom and the top, and I just swapped one bottom for the top, so I have silver on the bottom, and the white represents the light at the top. And then I've just glued this little shade I had, and I don't even remember where that came from. I made Dad a little cell phone, and his little coffee cup here came from one of those pens that you use that have the touch screen end on it, and when that the rubber cracked and I took this off, and then the pen ink was gone and I took it apart, I thought this really looked like a travel mug. So all I've done is put a piece of paper on, indented it a little bit, put 2 vent holes on it, and of course Dad's decal. So I'm very happy with how Mom's and Dad's room turned out. I'm just going to turn this so you can see the dresser. I just took a plastic dresser and painted the drawers, picking colors out of the wallpaper to match it up. And this house has been so much fun because you can use all these bright colors and it just looks fantastic. I've got a little book here made up for Dad so he can read his story later, and of course his little briefcase, which is just a solid piece of wood and a few jewelry findings and a couple beads for the feet. We are now going to turn to the front door, and you can see into the games room from here. You open the front door, you see Louie waiting on the steps for Matt to get off the game and take him for a walk. Matt's left his skateboard at the bottom of the steps again, and he better move it before Mom sees that. Now our second room here is their games room, and there is so much stuff going on in here. And what I will do is I'm going to pull these forward so that we can see them all up close. Okay, we're going to start with the furniture and the end table. Yet again, another napkin ring and a mirrored top, and you can see I have got Matt's snacks. He's going to have a chocolate muffin and he's got some wine gums to eat. This couch was a good buy at a garage sale. It was only $7. It's called a marshmallow couch. It had been broken and all the backs had snapped off, so we've had to take wire and fix, on the seams and that, but you don't really notice it. And I guess if I painted those black, you wouldn't notice them at all. So I'm very happy with finding this couch. And then this chair I'd done a tutorial on because it was red, and you probably still see the red a bit through it. And this is a piece of my old leggings that I just pulled over and recovered it with. We're looking at the back of Matt. He's sitting on a carpet that I printed off of my printer just onto a fuzzy cardstock. I'm very happy with how that turned out. And you can see he's busy playing his Nintendo game here. This was a 3D print, and then I added the little decals for the controllers, and I painted the little buttons red, added the wire, and I think it looks very realistic. Maybe these are a bit short because I know the ones in real life were quite long. I've got the Kleenex box up here. I've got these little game and they slide in and out. And I've got a little remote up there for the TV. Okay, I've pulled both of the little toy shelves forward. I've made a lot of these things, so I'm going to start first with our little Fisher-Price schoolhouse. The bell is made out of an earring, like a backing from an earring. And I was very happy with how this turned out. The only thing I need to do next time is to put some little tiny magnets underneath so that when I fold this up it stays folded up, and same with this when I want it closed. We'll take out the little tray, and I'm trying to show that the inside has the pictures of everything as well. I will try to film those another day. It's very, very dismal gray day outside, so I'm having a hard time with lighting. And here's their little alphabet tray. The next one, of course, is our little yellow house. A lot of us had these as kids, and I have fond memories of playing with it. So, of course, I wanted to try to make it in miniature. And I've actually succeeded. It opens, and you can see that I've got everything inside it as well. I absolutely love that. I'm so glad that it worked out. I made a few different types of these radios, and they're just made out of foam core with my pictures. I've got the ribbon a ribbon wire that I've painted, and I've got pins so this actually moves. So I'm very happy with how these ones turned out too. These are some store-bought things. So I've got a little train, your teddy bear. These little micro cars wheels actually moved. I've had to put a touch of glue in to keep them from rolling off the cart all the time. This is a bead to represent a ball, and this little Rubik's Cube was 3D printed, and it just very carefully painted the colors, and of course we've solved that one. I've got a little apple puzzle here. It's made out of wood, and the pieces actually do come out. This orange bead here is representing another ball. I made a whole bunch of these little books up. These were some of my kids' favorite little stories, and they're all the little golden books. So I've got Winnie the Pooh, Tweety, Baby's First Book, Raggedy Andy, and all of the books do open, and they have the little pages inside. And I find I don't want to glue them in, so when I'm displaying them, I try to find these clear elastics, and then you saw I had them bundled up there, then they don't fall over in the scene. This is the second shelf in the games room. The box on top here I shrunk from a full-size one. This little game was 3D printed, and then I made little paper discs to go inside to represent playing the game. And I even have the extra ones in a bag. You can play the game with tweezers. On this shelf here, you'll see the paint brushes that I made just with toothpicks and some of the white bristles off of my other brush. This little container full of paints was made from a dollar store pencil. You find these from office work. They're multi-point, and when you open, you can see coming down here all the little things that I think look like bottles. So I just take the bottle and paint it with nail polish. I find nail polish sticks better than anything else. This one here has one of those little rubber backed earring things as the lid, and then just shrink down a label of your liking and you've got that one done. I've got another one here, same thing, but I didn't have the earring backing, so all I did was keep dipping the top in till it looked like a lid. It's probably about 5 or 6 times of dipping it into the paint. Then for glue bottles, I have just painted the top white, and then I stuck a toothpick through it, and it's right through to the bottom, cut it off, and then I round it with a nail file, and then just paint it white. You can see here, this is the ones that I made, and you just put your decal on. These are actual real little marbles, beautiful colors. I put them in a jar. And this My Little Pony I found. Here's a little doll dressed up with bunka. I've got a box of Lincoln logs in behind. And these are all the Lego pieces I actually made. So you can see I've got quite the assortment of colors and sizes. I'm very happy with that too. That took me a long time to figure out how to make them. One of the last things in here is I'm going to say my pink snake plant. I made it out of shark's teeth, and all I did, so I still have a few left here, is I took them and just took a green marker and just did the lines and outlined it in green. And I'm very happy with how that turned out. And then I will just show you another painting that one of my children did, and then this is the games room all set up again. This here is your kitchen unit, and it's very plain. It's really big. None of these drawers open, and I thought it looked better once I glued these handles on, put the handle on the fridge, and added a few details here. It tipped forward, so to remedy that I just glued 2 popsicle sticks underneath. You don't see it, and it levels it off. Okay, we'll start with this sign that I have on the side of the fridge. This cross-stitch pattern I actually have made up for my real kitchen, and I just shrunk it down for this. I think it's such an appropriate saying. I've made some little jams just with resin and dye, put the label on, and a little piece of material. I think they look quite cute. At the sink I have my little jar of soap, and I have my rubber gloves. This sink did not have taps, and it did not have anything for the drains, so I just used parts from snaps and put them in. I've got a little rag there drying in between. This little drain rack was 3D printed, and of course I've got my tea towel hanging off the edge here. This tea towel and the rag were made on old white t-shirt material that I had ironed onto freezer paper and put through the printer, and I'm happy with the colors and how it turned out. I will turn this around and show you the next side. I have a piece of this fabric left over, so I might later on try to make a little apron or something for the mom when she's in the kitchen. On this side I have 3D printed little bowls, and I've just colored them with nail polish from the dollar store. I've never had a problem using the nail polish unless it was scented and then it acted funny with the plastic. And on this side I've just added a few utensils and the pot and the tea kettle. The whole stovetop was just plain silver, and I wanted the burners to stand out a little bit more, so I used a textured black paper and I used a jewelry finding and painted it all black and added them on. And it seemed to me that this was a really wide space in between, so I thought, let's add a grill. So I found a little piece from a Barbie item and cut it down and painted it. On the fridge I have a calendar, and it's marked with the day and the year that this project was finished. And on the front I have a grocery list. So I'll set up the next one. Here is the island. It turned out really nice. I tiled the back to match the kitchen. I made covers for these chairs so that they stood out better. I found this garbage can at a convenience store, and it's full of candies, but I bought it because the colors work with this scene. You can see that I've got the forks, knives, and spoons handles all colored a different color, and I made some little cupcakes, and I used fabric puff paint and used that for the icing, and then I put nail decals on. I am very happy with how this piece turned out. The Kaleidoscope came with two different choices in the table. This is the one that had the clear top, but when I started setting the dishes on and I just felt like the clear top wasn't doing them justice. So I got a metallic cardstock and cut the same shape as the tabletop and just attached that down. All the dishes have to be on display because none of the kitchen cupboards open, but I'm really happy with how this little setting has turned out. The chairs are all covered in, they can be pulled off. I really did not like the color of these legs, but I'm trying to keep what's original with the house so that it's not altered to a point that you can't take whatever I've done off and have it back to its original state. In this living room, I've used the same material for the carpet in the living room as I did for the loft space. I've got the original table, I've got a little plant on that, and a little remote for the TV. The couches are just plain white, and I thought, let's add some color. So I made a whole bunch of little throw pillows, and I really like how they look. It's hard to get the throw pillows to stay, so later on, I'm going to take a hard piece of plastic from some kind of packaging and cut it to fit the length at the back of the couches, and then I'm going to just lightly attach these with double-sided sticky tape, and then that way they won't keep falling down. I've got this really cool little flame green lamp in the background that belongs with the living room as well. These aren't the only colors of the pillows that I've made. I've made other ones so I can change them out whenever I feel like. I found a little magazine rack, spray painted it silver, and then I've just put The Sun and a few little newspapers and a couple magazines in it, and that will be sitting in the living room as well. I will be back with Mom's desk. This is the last area I want to talk about. This is the mom's office area. These two little filing cabinets started off as fridge magnets.
Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
The only thing I added to this was a little Mother's Day card. The little coffee, the file folders, and this little sticky note were on both of them. When I wanted to do this one, I cut everything off and just colored the coffee with a black nail polish so you couldn't see it as well. And I've made a calendar, another Mother's Day card, and this little plant on top. When I cut the magnet off and then took the surround, it was quite sloppy on the back. So just to give it a finished edge, I put this cardstock on and I've clear coated it. Here's the mother's desk. I had a lot of fun filling this desk. I think it looks very realistic. It's got lots of cubbies and little shelves, just like my real desk has. If anyone knows where this came from or who made it, please let me know, because I'd love to purchase another one. I'll start at the top. I've got the two little plants sitting up here. All they are beads that I've sanded flat on the bottom so that they could sit flush, and I put a tiny bit of glue to hold this in place and a bit of greenery. I made all of these little books, and I just took covers that I found on the internet and just changed colors. So I've got pink and blue and greens, and I made a whole bunch of different sizes. I just thought her desk should be quite colorful too. This little computer tower and this little printer came with the desk. There was a big old style screen on it, but Mom's updated to a flat screen and she's quite happy. I've got a little sticky note there saying 7 o'clock Zoom meeting. I've got another one here that's got milk, eggs, and bread. She's got to get her grocery list done. Here's my telephone and my keyboard and my little mouse. I even made a little mouse pad. I made these little file folders because the kids are all being homeschooled, and it even has little line paper in it. I made the little Kleenex box, and the kids all have their little workbooks here, so Mom will check them later. I made a whole bunch. These were a free printy. You can find lots of free printables that on the internet, so you don't have to spend a lot of money. I just printed these off. I did the covers with tape and put a few pages inside each one. It was quite simple to do. On this side I have made a little container of lined paper and another one of blank paper. Mom also has some, Mom's back into letter writing and she's enjoying it. She's got a file up here right now where she's working on it. Yeah, she's writing a note to her friend. And this has got little postcards and little envelopes, and there's a little pen right in the middle. I found on this side of the desk that these were quite deep, so I just put foam there, and then I can put cardstock the same color gray and put it in front, and you won't know that it's there. It's just to prevent things from sliding back so far. I'm going to tip the desk. Hopefully I've got everything off that'll fly. Okay, there we go. A few more things fell. So you can see the little sticky notepad, you can see the telephone. I made all of the pencils and pens that you see in that little cup. I made the cupcake, there's a little eraser. She's smoking, but she's trying to quit, so that's why she's got a cupcake, her chocolate bar, and some gum there. I've got her stapler and calculator. Those are just metal minis that you can get and you paint them up, and I just used my nail polish to do that as well, and I did the little glasses the same color. And her little cell phone is sitting there waiting for her to finish work so she can play on her games. We've got a little container of candies and her water bottle. Here is the upper hallway with the artwork that I've put up there, a few plants, and down into the front entrance. If we come down here, you can see the kitchen, the dining area, the couch, and Mom's desk. Just showing you from another view, from up top. So that's the great room. We've got the girls' room. We have the loft. And we have the little boys' room. We have the bathroom, the games room, and Mom's and Dad's room. I'm going to put the roof on and I'm done. So here's my Kaleidoscope house. I've got the roof on and it's going to take pride in place in my house. I'm going to have it on display all the time. I absolutely love this house. I love how all the colors are on it. And there's the other mirrored ball that had been installed. That's why I did one in the bathroom as well. Here, the roof is on. All the panels are put back in. I hope you enjoyed this, and watch me for other videos coming up soon.